Welcome back. Well, as at March last year, the governor said that they had, during one of the investment summits, he said they had created about 500,000 jobs. What's your job creation plan for the state?
Well, thank you very much. I do not know about those numbers, so I don't want to comment on those numbers. I mean, I do not see where the 500,000 jobs are in Ogun State, but then for us, I'm still referring to our 7-point agenda. Our number 3 agenda is job creation, particularly for youth and women. And our plan is to restructure our education, because again, you must also have employable youths before you can be saying that they are employed or they are not employed. So that when they have to go for interviews and all of that, then they will at least have a good edge. So we need to produce the right quality students and graduates in order for them. So we have to look at our tertiary institutions and all of that at that level. The other one is to look at certain industries that has the capacity to absorb a lot of our youth, and that will include entertainment, sports, and then information technology. So we intend to partner with the private sector to improve and enhance these areas. I mean, we have stadia in Ogun State. Some 7, 10 years ago, in sport activities, Ogun State will only come 3rd or 4th. But this time it's practically dead. So we need to look at that. We have a new rail system now that is passing through Ogun State. Along that corridor, we can do major IT hub that can attract a lot of our youth into that, and also the entertainment industry. We also want to look at that. Thirdly is to look at women, empowerment of women. There are quite a number of our women who are doing businesses and trades that requires not so much funding, that we can create a vehicle that can do some on-lending to them so that it can generate some business for that. So we're also looking at that. Thirdly is to use the opportunities, and fourthly is to use all the facilities that we have around us, natural resources. For instance, we have a deep water in Ogun water side that the former administration started a deep sea port and all of that in there. That is still the deepest part of Ogun State, of the Atlantic around us there, that we can see attract investment. That is in the east. In the east we also have bitumen. In the east we also have the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is the artery that takes traffic from Lagos into other parts of the state. Yeah,
but can you utilize those natural resources without recourse to the federal government?
Well, those are the things. I am an apostle of a restructuring in those areas. But even while that restructuring has not been done, it's my responsibility to make things happen. So whatever is the way I need to make that happen is the way I need to make it happen. The important thing is that we have these things in our backyard, and we know that they are useful. They are, it can generate employment, it can generate empowerment, it can give our people jobs. So we have to find a way to make it happen. When I was the MD of Gateway Holdings, we created what we call Gateway Bitumen. We tried to get, people to get into it there, but we have some slowdown, particularly from the federal government, which agrees to what we said. And that's why I personally would want to advocate that we should, remove all these bottlenecks so that each state, each region can move as fast as it wants to move in some of those areas. So we have to look at that. In the central part of the state, we have quite a number of limestone and a number of businesses, natural resources that we can do. Also, we have in the west. So the fourth plank is to see how we can unleash investment into some of these things, so that on the medium to long term, we can have businesses generated. But on the immediate, look at education, look at those major industries that can attract investment, and then look at how we can empower and also create vocational training, because in all of this that we do now, we must also give a plan B for our children, for our youth, so that even if you want to go into the normal route, you might want to learn a trade or learn a business, and then we can now look for a way to create an opportunity for you to be able to
but that isn't that currently going on now. But the thing is, how are you going to guarantee funding? For instance, if you need to take advantage of the agric window, which the state is doing at the moment, what's your plan to get them access to credit at single-digit interest rates?
That is a major macroeconomic issue. But I said something, the Nordic system of social welfare. What that does, or what that means to me, is that there are certain areas that government will just have to find a way to provide some level of subsidy, if you want to use that word, so that industries and businesses can grow along that, so that our people can be empowered.
Yeah, what kind of subsidy?
No. This is what I mean by that. For instance, if you want to encourage, say, agric, implement, giving implement at subsidized rate for people that actually want to do agric could be one of those. Because if you want to ask an average farmer to begin to go and buy some of these things with what exchange rate is saying, it might be difficult for them to get employed. And when they don't get get engaged, then you're also reducing your level of productivity. So,
yeah,
in order to do that, you have to look at that. Then we're also looking at, along this agric again, we also want to look at the storage aspect, because we also have discovered that one of the things that discourages people into agric, into farming, is that there's no storage facility. So if you partner with the private sector to get that into various senatorial districts, then you might also be able to get a lot of people. We just have to go out of our way.
Yeah, but which would you give priority between storage and getting them off-takers?
It's one leads into the other. If you go straight into getting off-takers, if you get into getting off-takers, of course, that is easier and better, because you get off-takers, then you don't need storage. But where you don't even have the off-takers immediately, then there can also be an avenue that is created, so that once you get it, bring it. Whenever the off-takers come, they'll take it off from there. The important thing is I want to encourage people to continue to grow and to grow and to grow. So it doesn't matter. You can even create the market, and when they grow, you might not even stay in the storage, you go straight to the buyers. Good for you. But the important thing is that even where that is not ready, you also want to create a hub where all of this can be, so that from there, we have a market in Lagos of 15 million or so people, and then we have the land in Ogun State. We must be able to create an avenue where Ogun State feed substantially Lagos, and we think that these are some of the things that we know.
Just before we let you go, a large number of the voting population in Ogun State are poor and in the hinterlands. Communicating to them has always been a problem, because you say very wonderful things that you want to do for them here, but they don't know about it. And how do you communicate it to them?
I'm a rural man. I was born in Imeko. Imeko is one of the remotest parts of Ogun State. That's where I grew up, primary school, secondary school. That's where my mom is. That's where my parents are. And that's where I've been. That's where I go all of the time. There's no part of Ogun State that I've not been to. Maybe not all the villages, but there's no ward, no community that I've not been to. In the last 10 years that I've been, I've been talking in all of this time that I've been. So communicating to the people, I think that, yes, we can come here and, come and talk. But as we do this, we also do the needful down there. So we do communicate. All
right, so hinterland is not a problem. You heard.
Covered.
All right, then Mr. Gboyega Isiaka, the governorship candidate of ADC, thank you for coming on, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.